Hey, Mark Yagi here. And a couple of months ago, I had to make a pretty tough decision, and that was to move a bunch of accounts that I had over at Schwab and Thinkorswim, which used to be TD Ameritrade, to someplace else. And I've been with Schwab for like 20 something years, probably more like 25 years. And I'd always really liked the way they treated their customers. I'd always really liked their platforms. Before they bought out Thinkorswim, I thought they had a pretty decent web platform and a decent desktop platform. But things are starting to shift and starting to shift for me. And a lot of you people are asking like where I trade. And I couldn't in good conscience anymore say, I recommend Schwab. And I want to be able to recommend where I'm doing all my trading so that, there's a benefit for you and also for me too. People are leaving Schwab, and I'm one of them. And I'm going to tell you the story because a lot of you want to know. Now, I want to tell you, I don't like to talk crap about people and companies and things like that. It's not in my nature. Look, they just don't do business the way I like. Really, you should kind of go somewhere else, or I should kind of go somewhere else. And I did. But a lot of you are asking me why I left. And so I think it's kind of fair to explain to you some of the reasons, and I'm not going to like make it a negative thing because I'm not a negative guy, but I'm just going to say some of the things that I was finding, and you've got to do your own homework, caused me to make a move. And it was not a move that I took lightly, but I want to share with you some of the reasons. So one of the big reasons is that there's when I used to have my brokerage firm, there was a big thing called PFOF, payment for order flow. And what people would do is instead of having their own market making floors, and they would have to be on the bid or the ask on one side or the other or both to make a market in a security, they would just sell their order flow. And I was one of those firms. We had an order flow operation where we were actually making markets, but we were at what's called an electronic communications network, not really important for this video. But I understood the PFOF model is that you could not have to take on all the risk of being a market maker, and you could sell your orders to somebody that did want to take on that risk. And the bigger those companies got, like Citadel and Susquehanna and some of these big companies would take on big payment for order flow, and they were making a ton of money. And so, there's nothing wrong with that model. They provide a service. It's just, are they providing that service at the expense of the customer? Most of the time I was like, cool, they're shaving off a penny here or a penny there or half a penny, whatever. I don't think it's an issue. It's an issue when there's a company that sells their order flow or they get in front of those order flows and they're doing what's called front running. I'm not saying Schwab was doing front running, but I had some suspicions about a lot of the things that they were doing in their trading, and I just don't like it. And I couldn't get any good answers. And so I want to introduce you to this IEX. They're launching a new option trading venue, and I'm an option trading guy, like almost 100% now. And so their option trading venue is designed to be retail friendly, to be transparent, and it sidesteps the payment for order flow model. And so companies like Citadel and Schwab, who make a ton of their money, right? You don't pay commissions. So that's how you know they're selling off their order flow, most likely. And in Schwab's case, they are. It threatens their payment for order flow model. Why does it matter? Well, better execution through order auctions is really the gig, right? We want best execution. NBBO is National Best Bid and Offer, but they're required to give you best bid and offer in the execution. That's why I do market orders, because usually you get a really good execution in between the bid and the ask, unless it's really illiquid, and then sometimes you get a lousy execution. But by and large, on small trades, on small orders, on liquid stocks, you get really good executions. And I kind of have been, but not all the time, okay? And so, this model is more transparent for price discovery. It potentially gives you better fills than the traditional brokers like Schwab have been giving, and it reduces the middlemen's profits from retail trades. Now, I'm not going to get into all the things about IEX and what they do, but they are threatening Schwab. And so if they're threatening Schwab like a year and a half ago, people were like, is Schwab going to go out of business? And I kind of have my doubts now too. Like, are they? I don't know, maybe. So here's the main reasons investors are leaving Schwab. First of all, they have outdated technology and a slow platform. There's a ton of really good platforms out there now. And, some up and coming firms like Robinhood, Tasty Trade, TradeStation, which is not a new technology. It's been out there since I was running my brokerage firm. But there's a lot of viable options, except, in addition to this behemoth like Schwab that just is gobbling up all these firms. Okay, I like the little guy. I don't really like the big guy so much anymore. I don't like these big monopolies taking over, the little guy. I just kind of don't. Um, and then I started to question their trade execution quality, and I couldn't get really any good answers about my trade execution. So I raised an eyebrow. And then you get higher fees for advanced trading. That didn't bother me. Declining customer service did bother me. So when I would bring some of these issues up, I was made into the bad guy. And I was just asking questions. And so we had some declining customer service. We had some issues with, like, I had to go, like, anytime I wanted to do something, I had to go through 3 or 4 people. I was on the phone for hours trying to get some approval for some things. And at the end, it just wasn't a really good, wasn't a really good experience. And I'm like, if this is the way they're going to treat somebody that's been here for 25 something years or 20 years, whatever, like, how are they going to treat somebody new? Well, I have enough experience to know how they're treating people that are new right now, because I have a lot of people in my mastermind groups that are taking my courses and that are giving me feedback on what Schwab is doing. And it's all entering into this. It's like there's no one real thing. It's just kind of when you put together the whole picture, like our phones or dots, one dot's not going to paint the picture, but you put a bunch of dots together, all of a sudden you get a picture. Well, that's kind of what I did. I feel that there's, perceived conflicts of interest due to that payment for order flow. I don't think they're on the side of the customer anymore. They're on the side of Schwab. Great if you're a Schwab investor. I'm thinking about shorting the stock one of these days soon, because I just don't think viably they can stay in business if they're against the customer. And that's kind of how I feel they are. And then I had some ethical concerns with what they were doing on the corporate level. So, like, I kind of dug deep before I made a decision. But I did make a decision based on customer service, I have to say. And then there's lots of reasons that are, attracting new people and new platforms. And you should look at them, because there's some benefits, like I'm trying to outline. My big reasons: horrible customer service, issues with cash amounts. And I've alluded to this before. They have this, like most firms, right? If you have an account at a firm, when you have cash, it gets swept into a money market account. Now, you lose protections with SIPC, and it goes back over to the FDIC side or something. Like, you lose some insurance protections because you're in a money market fund, which is a security rather than cash, but you gain in the amount of yield you get from a money market fund. So I'll give you an example. Cash is paid like 0.4% or 0.04%, some stupid small number they give you on cash at Schwab. And if you want money market rates, most firms will just sweep it into their money market fund. You check a box and sign an agreement, and it's swept in and out, and you get it within one day if you need it. In Schwab's case, they don't have the automatic sweep. So if you have money in cash, you have to go in, actually buy the money market fund, and then when you need the cash, you have to go in and sell the money market fund. Well, that seems like a pain in the butt, but that's what their answer was. That's what you got to do. And I'm like, can't you just check the box? And the customer service were like, no. So I have a big issue with the yield. Not that I have a huge amount of cash, but when you do have a huge amount of cash, you don't want to have to remember, oh my God, I need to, go from the cash and sweep it in myself and then unsweep it when I want to do a trade and all that stuff. Just like, why? Well, that's against the customer. Like, they're making money on your money. If it's sitting in cash, they're investing in their bank or their money market fund, and they're keeping the yield. That doesn't sound very customer friendly. All right. I wasn't sure they weren't front-running trades. I couldn't get answers. I asked questions. I couldn't figure it out. I'm not sure they were not front-running trades, but you can do your own homework. I started having major execution issues on market orders, and even some limit orders. I was like, they were hanging up sometimes. It just felt weird. And when things feel weird to me, I'm always like, okay, the other eyebrow goes up. Like, shouldn't I look into this? And then they were giving me all this runaround with options approvals and margin approvals and paperwork and all this other junk. And I just wasn't having it. So should you switch? I don't know. That's up to you. Everybody has to do their own homework. I had my experience, and I can only come from my experience. I can't come from yours. If you prioritize best execution and transparency, maybe you want to consider switching because of all the stuff that I just mentioned. If you value full service offerings, they might be a decent firm, right? Like, they have ways to handle full portfolios and stuff like that. I don't know how experienced their people are, and maybe they're more experienced in sales like most firms are, but maybe they give you some good, viable full service offerings if that's what you want. I don't know. I believe in taking control of your own financial destiny. And Keep an eye on how platforms adopt or resist this IEX model before you decide where you're going to put your money. That's not that big a deal to me, but I just want to make sure that things are cool on the payment for order flow side, because I think if there's money to be made, I don't have any problem with a firm making money. I think that's what makes this world go around. But I have a problem with a firm making money possibly at the expense of their customers. And that's the feeling I was getting. So here are some takeaways for you. IEX is threatening Schwab and Citadel's business model, and it'll probably threaten other firms' business models as well. But it will also create new business models and new opportunities and exciting things that if these old firms don't adopt or adapt, they will be left behind. And firms like Citadel, I think he's gonna make a big change there. But I don't know if Schwab is able to do it based on how they treat their customers. Maybe they're not. Schwab users are increasingly citing poor technology, service, and execution. The retail itself, we are gaining power, right, through transparency and through innovation. And I think that's a big benefit for us. We can vote with our pocketbook. And I certainly made a vote there with my accounts. And God, I can't believe they let my accounts walk, because I bring them a lot of business, and I gave them a lot of business. I think there's a shift toward fair trading platforms, and you're going to be part of that. Like, firms that are coming up and putting new cool things in place, like crypto trading and better sweeping of money market funds. It just tokenized securities trading is coming, and we don't even know. I've always believed that there's a tokenized securities trading thing coming, and I think it's finally now with blockchain starting to come, by the way, but that's a different video also. And I think you got to watch how firms treat you and how firms treat their customers. So that's the takeaways that I would give you on Schwab. I'm probably not going to address this again. This is the one video that I felt was a service to basically make you do your homework, decide if you want to be with them, decide if there's other options. I may do another video that tells you what the other options are. I moved my money from Schwab to TradeStation. TradeStation has some limitations so far, but they also have some awesomeness so far. So, I'll try to, as I get my feet, wet. I used to be with TradeStation in a couple of hedge funds years ago. As I get my feet wet back on their technology, I'll report back to you what I'm learning. But I won't be talking about Schwab very much more. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. I hope it answered your questions about why I went from one place to another. And I appreciate your support on this channel. I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Hey, it's Mark Yagi, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do that right now. That would be a great favor to me, and plus it helps me get this material out to a lot of other people that might need it. I've got a little bit of a movement going on here, and I want to try to change the world one person at a time, showing them that you can make safe, reliable income from the stock market. And plus it helps to grow the channel a little bit. Also, if you would give me a thumbs up on the video and like it, great. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down, that's cool. But just tell me why you don't like it so I can get better. And then hit the notification bell so you can get these videos as soon as they come out, because a lot of times this is timely information and you want to get that information before it gets stale. The last thing is to join my free Insider Tips newsletter. There's a link below, and you get everything in one spot. You get breaking news and analysis also. So that would be great if you could do that too. See you soon.